When I returned to the university, the dean of the faculty, Ludmila Koida, and the secretary of the faculty, Nelly, told me that the security services, SIS, were looking for me. The prosecutor opened a criminal case because of the events of April 6 to 7. I knew the methods of functioning of the communist regime, but I had no knowledge of criminal law. The leaders of the European Movement and Action Party offered me a lawyer, and they also paid. The lawyer was called Angela Istrate. The lawyer warned me that now the prosecutor will ask me some questions, and when you do not have to answer questions, I will hit you under the table. I was hit many times by the lawyer with my foot under the table. Then I decided that I would study at a law faculty. My friends since then, Igor and Vasila, and my sister had no problems with the prosecutor's office or the police because they did not protest at the anti-communist events on April. My friends since then, Igor and Vasila, and my sister had no problems with the prosecutor's office or the police because they did not protest at the anti-communist events on April 6 to 7. In 2009 I was only 20 years old, and if I could say that I had 4 years of political experience. I participated for the first time in a political event at 16 and was in high school. The party that made presentation about their activity and was at a history lesson. That party was very popular among young people in Moldova and organized the largest anti-communist protests. The person who made the presentation about the political party was Anatol Vantu. I started participating in the events organized by this political party. At the age of 18 I got the membership card. According to the Moldovan legislation, you can get a membership card for a political party only at the age of 18. In 2006, when I received the membership card of the political party, I had the hunted eye after a beating. When the president of the party handed me the membership card of this political party, Anatol Vantu, who was also the president of the Kryulani branch, said that I had the hunted eye because I fought with the communists. We all laughed. In 2007 I was a candidate for the position of local councillor in the village of Porambeni, and in 2008 I decided to go to another party that was called the Movement of the European Action. In 2009, on April 5, I was a candidate for the position of deputy in the Parliament of the Republic of Moldova on the list of this party. It was an election campaign with many challenges, but for the age of 20 I was very smart, but I was missing experience. I know that it seems unbelievable that some young people could make a change. I could say that it is impossible, because some people with more influence cannot make changes in Moldova. Why could some young people, especially when we talk about the communist regime? When I remember those events, I find it funny, but I have to admit that I was very afraid because my life was in danger. The day of April 5, 2009 I spent it with the members of the party, because it was the day of the parliamentary elections and I was also the president of the youth of the Kryulani district. I was responsible for observers and representatives of the voting sections in several villages. The Movement of the European Action was a new political party, and the slogan of the election campaign was Moldova without corruption, a good slogan, but in a country like Moldova, where doctors, teachers are forced to receive bribe, only for the simple reason why they have to survive. People do not vote for such a party for the simple reason because they thought we would arrest them, and we were talking about high-level corruption. From April 7 to the end of the spring semester I was not at any course at the university and I was not at any exam. I had many arrears/exam. In the autumn of 2009 I started to give the arrears/exam from the university. How do you know they were recruited by the Russians? It is very simple. Because of the questions they ask. About some I realized that he works for Russians earlier, others later. When I was in the third year of university, the Russian ambassador came to ULIM to speak in front of the students, and we, being students in the specialty of international relations, we were obliged to go to the ambassador's presentations. When we waited for the ambassador to come with his presentation, I was in the middle of the hall and representatives of the Russian embassy were already in the hall. To my right side was Dumitru, from Kryulini, and he tells me, "Look, there are 2 employees at the Russian embassy who are photographing and filming you." My answer for Dumitru was, "They are 3, there is another one on the left side." The next day I responded to the course given by Professor Rodica Panta on the topic I had received a week ago about the struggles between Nazis and Communists, and I was arguing with the teacher about the Battle of Kursk and how many tanks participated in this battle. I was very prepared for this topic, but I was right. Professor Rodica Panta is one of the best teachers I have ever had. All the students loved her. ULIM is the first university and I only have pleasant memories, and I have a respect for all the professors who taught me. After I answered all the questions, Dumitru says, "Andrei tells everyone that yesterday you were filmed and photographed by 3 employees of the Russian embassy." To which I replied, "Yes, it is true." Another colleague, named Vyacheslav, told me when I was still standing in front of the hall, "It is a mistake and you're probably paranoid." To which I replied, "I am not the one who started the discussion about filming and photography, and there are other witnesses who saw this. Maybe they are paranoid too." After April 7th, when I was hiding from the communists and the security of Moldova, security came to the university to look for me in the hall. After April 7th, when I was hiding from the communists and the security of Moldova, when the communists were still in power, they came to the university to arrest me. Security entered the hall and shouted, "Where is Plop Andrei?" This Vyacheslav replied that he is not in this group and he is in another room. Everyone knew that this Vyacheslav was a security bitch, which in popular language we call them stukake, from the common slang word stukakstvo. Stukake was widely used in the Soviet period to describe squealing, or informing on people to the government authorities. The word is evidently derived from stuk, Russian for the sound of a hammer blow. The government, and especially the security police, in all communist-ruled or authoritarian countries, depended on informers in order to keep tabs on the loyalty of the populace. As most teachers were historians by profession, and in Moldova most people know the attitude of historians towards Romania. These STUKACHs had the mission of informing security about students and teachers. Even though the government has changed, these security bitches have continued to work for the leadership since then. Even so, I had a criminal case opened by the communists then. I didn't want to have another criminal case because of a security bitch. I hate communist security bitches. I found out about the fact that I was wanted by the security from the secretary of the faculty, Nelly, and from the dean of the faculty, Ludmila. I found out about Vyacheslav from friends in the group. These idiots were at my house too, and they didn't find me then. After the communist regime changed with a new leadership, called the Alliance for European Integration, it seemed to me that everything was calmed. I was in the last year of university, I was more concerned with studies. I attended all possible conferences organized by the EU, OSCE, NATO, and I started to study German, for the simple reason that most people studied English and German was spoken by very few people in Moldova.